What if the person you love the most is fighting battles inside themselves you cannot see? What if the moments they pull away have nothing to do with loving you less, and everything to do with surviving what once broke them? Because loving someone with a painful past is not like ordinary love. You are not only learning their personality, you are learning their wounds, their defenses, their silent fears. And sometimes you find yourself confused. Why do they suddenly need space? Why do small things affect them so deeply? Why do they push you away right when things feel safe? But here is the truth. When someone has walked through emotional fire, their mind changes. Their heart learns different rules, and if you do not understand those rules, you may mistake survival patterns for rejection. That is where this story begins. Everything you are about to hear comes directly from people who lived through difficult pasts, people who quietly shared the things they wish their partners understood, because beneath their strength, there are truths they rarely say out loud. This video exists for both sides, for the person carrying invisible scars, and for the person trying to love them without losing themselves. So, before we begin, if these videos help you understand yourself or others more deeply, consider subscribing and helping us reach more subscribers. The more this community grows, the more psychology content, tools, and support we can create for people everywhere. Now let's step deeper into this, because loving someone with a resilient past requires learning a different language of love. Rule number 1, their need for solitude is not rejection. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings. When they pull away, become quiet, or spend time alone, it is easy to think, did I do something wrong? But often, you did not. After living through chaos, peace becomes sacred, silence becomes medicine. Their alone time is not punishment, it is recovery. Think of their emotional energy like a phone battery. Even healthy connection can drain it, and solitude is how they recharge. Trauma experts explain that pain does not only live in memory, it lives in the nervous system, which means their body is often carrying stress, even when nothing dangerous is happening. So instead of asking, "What's wrong with you?" try saying, "Take your time, I'll still be here." Because that changes everything. It tells them they are safe, without forcing them to explain themselves, and that is where the first conflict appears, because they want closeness, but their nervous system still craves distance. Rule number 2, learn the language of their empathy. People with painful pasts often notice everything. The shift in your tone, the sadness in your eyes, the tension in your body, even when you say nothing. Psychology calls this hypervigilance. A mind trained to constantly scan for danger. To others, they may seem too sensitive, but sensitivity became survival. Imagine someone who spent years learning to read moods quickly because conflict could appear at any moment. That awareness does not disappear. It stays. So when they ask, "Are you okay?" again and again, it is not because they are dramatic. It is because their mind notices what others miss. And here is the second conflict. They feel everything deeply, but often fear they are too much for others. So instead of hiding your emotions behind, "I'm fine," try honesty. Even something simple like, "I'm stressed today, but thank you for noticing." That reassurance matters more than you realize, because it tells them their sensitivity is not a burden. Rule number 3, do not try to fix their pain. Just stay with them inside it. This is difficult for many people, because when someone you love hurts, your instinct is to solve it, to repair it, to remove the pain quickly. But people shaped by hardship are not always looking for solutions. Sometimes they are looking for safety. They do not need a savior. They need someone who can sit beside them without running away from their emotions. When they share painful memories, do not rush to fix the story. Do not search for perfect advice. Instead, be present. Say, "That sounds painful. I'm sorry you went through that. That must have been heavy to carry alone." Because your calm presence often heals more than words, and this creates another conflict. They fear opening up, because in the past, their pain was ignored, minimized, or misunderstood. Rule number 4, their trust is fragile, but precious. A guarded heart is not a cold heart. It is a heart that learned trust can be dangerous. Past betrayal changes people. It teaches them to question safety, to expect disappointment, to prepare for abandonment before it happens, so they may open slowly, pull back suddenly, or struggle to fully relax in love. This is not because they do not care. It is because part of them is still trying to survive old pain. And this is where consistency becomes powerful. Not grand promises, not dramatic speeches. Consistency, showing up when you said you would, remembering small details, being emotionally steady, staying kind even during difficult moments. Trust is not built through intensity. It is built through repetition, through safety repeated over time, and when they finally let you into their inner world, understand what that means, because for them, trust is one of the most valuable things they have. Rule number 5, celebrate their independence, but gently offer support. People who survived difficult situations often become fiercely independent, because at some point, they had no choice. They learned to handle problems alone, carry pressure alone, survive alone, and over time, independence became armor. But here is the hidden conflict. The same armor protecting them can also isolate them. They may refuse help even when overwhelmed, not because they dislike you, but because depending on others once felt unsafe. So instead of saying, "You clearly need help," try, "We're a team. Let me carry some of this with you." That changes the feeling completely, because now your support feels like partnership, not pity. And sometimes, that is the only way they know how to finally let someone in. Now we reach the hidden truths they rarely say aloud. Bonus truth number 6. They hate pushing you away. More than you know. This is the painful part most people never see. When they shut down, go distant, or build emotional walls, part of them feels angry at themselves. They know they are creating distance. They know they are hurting someone who loves them. But survival instincts are loud, sometimes louder than love itself. And this creates one of the deepest conflicts of all. They want connection desperately, while simultaneously fearing it. So your patience matters, not pressure, not forcing. Patience, gentle consistency, emotional safety. Because slowly, that becomes the thing their nervous system learns to trust. Bonus truth number 7. Their sense of justice runs deep. People who suffered unfairness rarely ignore it in others. When they see bullying, manipulation, or someone being mistreated, it affects them personally, because it awakens memories, feelings, powerlessness they once carried themselves. That is why many survivors become protectors, advocates, people who stand up for others quickly. They are not only defending strangers. In some way, they are defending the version of themselves that once needed protection too, and that changes how they love. Because when they care about you, they care fiercely, deeply, protectively. Loving someone who has known pain is not always easy. It requires patience, understanding, and emotional maturity. But it is also one of the deepest forms of connection a person can experience. Because you are not only loving who they are now, you are loving the person they fought to become. But there is something important you must remember too. Do not lose yourself while trying to save someone else. Your needs matter too. Your peace matters too. Healthy love requires two whole people, not one person carrying the entire emotional weight alone. So the goal is not rescuing. The goal is understanding, building safety together, learning each other slowly. Because when someone with a painful past finally feels emotionally safe, they love with incredible depth. They notice the small things. They value loyalty. They protect connection carefully. And they cherish peace in ways most people never fully understand. So now ask yourself honestly, when someone pulls away, do you react with fear or with understanding? Because the answer to that question can completely change the way love feels for both of you. And if you have learned something from loving someone with a difficult past, share it below. Your experience may become the comfort someone else needed today. If this resonated with you, stay with Raw Psych. There is still so much more to understand about love, trauma, healing, and the hidden psychology of human connection. Take care of yourself, and we will see you next time.